Finish a book before bed. Tonight, let's read The Little Prince together under the night sky. Before we start, I want to talk slowly about the word tame. Have you ever really thought about it? To tame is never about possession or control. It's about building a unique, soft bond in each other's lives. Just like the wind blowing across an endless wheat field, a casual scene at first. But if you've ever tamed a fox, every time you see that golden wave of wheat afterward, you'll think of its soft fur, and even the wind will be wrapped in a faint, tender scent of longing. Every little story in The Little Prince hides such gentle, touching truths. It's never just a fairy tale for children. It's more like a good night letter sent to adults, quietly reminding us of the purest, most precious things drowned out by busy days. The narrator is a pilot. When he was a child, he drew a picture, a boa constrictor swallowing an elephant. But all the adults thought it was just an ordinary hat. From then on, he understood that adults always get used to seeing only the surface with their eyes, yet gradually forget to feel the truth beneath the appearance with their hearts. One day later, the pilot's plane crashed unexpectedly in the Sahara Desert. The engine stopped and he had little water left. Just as he fell into helplessness, a small figure walked quietly up to him, a golden-haired boy, simply dressed with eyes as clear as the stars in the desert night sky, soft as if holding the entire night. He was the little prince from asteroid B612, a tiny planet no bigger than a house. There were only 3 volcanoes on it, 1 active, 2 extinct, and a proud yet fragile rose. The little prince's planet was so small that he could watch the sunset 44 times a day. And all these gentle daily moments revolved around that rose. The rose was extraordinarily delicate, with pink petals wrapped in a faint fragrance, but she had a touch of pride and always said things that didn't match her feelings. She would softly complain about the wind making her uncomfortable, pretend to cough to get the little prince's attention, and show off her beauty with a little arrogance, saying she was one of a kind in the universe. The little prince loved the rose deeply, yet there was a touch of confusion and weariness in this love. He didn't understand why the more he cared, the easier it was to fall into trivial quarrels. Why the rose, clearly relying on him, always put on a lofty air. Just like the intimate relationships in our lives, we clearly hold each other in our hearts, but often push each other away quietly because of a moment of pride or clumsy inability to express. We've all been like the little prince, unable to say gentle words to those we like, at a loss when it comes to the relationships we care about, and finally having to turn away gently with a faint sense of confusion. So the little prince said goodbye to his planet, carrying his longing for the rose, and began a slow interstellar journey. He visited 6 planets one after another, and each planet was home to an adult trapped in obsession. The king on the first planet clung to power, always saying he ruled the whole world, yet had no one to truly accompany him. The vain man on the second planet lived only to collect praise from others, even if those words were empty and meaningless. The drunkard on the third planet drank to escape the shame of drinking, trapping himself in an endless cycle. The businessman on the fourth planet frantically collected stars as wealth, too busy to spare even a moment to look up at the starry sky. There was also the lamplighter who stuck to meaningless rules, and the geographer who only recorded eternal things but ignored the beauty of the present. Aren't these adults just like us when we're occasionally lost? We rush to chase fame and fortune, cater to worldly rules, and accumulate so-called important wealth, yet gradually forget our original intention when we set out. We forget to stop and feel the sunshine and breeze, to cherish the real, warm bonds around us. We get trapped in worldly anxiety like those adults on small planets, moving forward aimlessly with a faint sense of loneliness. Finally, the little prince arrived on Earth. In the desert, he met a snake, which said it could bring everything back to the beginning. He met an inconspicuous clover, which told him there were thousands of roses on Earth, just like the one on his planet. It wasn't until he met the fox, a smart and gentle little creature, that he learned the true meaning of taming. The fox said, "Before you tame me, you are just one boy among thousands, and I am just one fox among thousands. But once you tame me, we become unique to each other. I need you, and you need me. This bond is not about possession. It's only about mutual longing and companionship." The fox added, "The meaning of taming is to always be responsible for what you have tamed, just as you must be responsible for your rose, because you watered her, covered her with a flower cover, listened to her complain about trivial troubles, and stayed with her through quiet moments. It's the time and care you've given that make her one of a kind among thousands of roses." The little prince suddenly understood. His rose was special not because she was more beautiful than the 5,000 roses on Earth, but because of his longing for her and his willing sense of responsibility. Later, the little prince met a switchman on Earth, watching people hurry back and forth on trains, some rushing to distant places, some running away from the past, yet few knew where they were really going or what they were looking for. He also met a merchant selling thirst-quenching pills, who said taking the pills would eliminate the need to drink water, saving 53 minutes a day. The little prince wondered softly, "What should we do with the time we save?" The merchant had no answer. "Isn't that true? We always rush to chase and save time, yet the time we save often slips away, quietly, in confusion. We're busy rushing toward the unknown, forgetting to stop, look at the people beside us, and feel the tenderness and peace of the present." The pilot and the little prince slowly searched for a well in the desert. Finally, they found one and drank the sweet well water. The little prince said, "This well water tastes especially sweet, not because it's more special than other water, but because we trekked and waited together. These shared moments have given ordinary well water a unique warmth and meaning. Just like the things worth cherishing in life, they are never easily obtained. The roads we walk together and the tenderness we give each other make our bond deeper and longer lasting." The time they spent together was gentle yet short, and the little prince's longing for the rose grew stronger and stronger. He knew his rose was still on that tiny planet, waiting for him to return, waiting for his companionship and protection. So he found the snake and asked it to take him back to the beginning, to his planet, to his rose. As they parted, the little prince said softly to the pilot, "You must look with your heart to see the essence of things. What is truly important cannot be seen with the eyes. Only sincerity can perceive all tenderness." The time they spent together was gentle yet short, and the little prince's longing for the rose grew stronger and stronger. He knew his rose was still on that tiny planet, waiting for him to return, waiting for his companionship and protection. So he found the snake and asked it to take him back to the beginning, to his planet, to his rose. As they parted, the little prince said softly to the pilot, "You must look with your heart to see the essence of things. What is truly important cannot be seen with the eyes. Only sincerity can perceive all tenderness." And so, the story slowly comes to an end. The Little Prince is never just a simple fairy tale. It hides the tenderest truths of the adult world. We rush to chase external glory, yet ignore our purest inner needs. We search for uniqueness, yet forget that uniqueness comes from mutual giving and longing. We complain about loneliness, yet forget that loneliness stems from being afraid to give our true hearts and build warm bonds. We've all been like the little prince, clumsy and stubborn with those we love, failing to cherish the relationships we care about until we've walked many roads and met many people, gradually understanding those simple yet precious truths. We also occasionally become like those adults on the planets, lost in the rush of life, forgetting to feel the tenderness of time and the meaning of companionship. But the Little Prince's story tells us, no matter how far we go, never lose the tenderness in our hearts, never forget to feel every bond with our hearts, and never forget to keep the responsibility for everything we love. Before bed tonight, try to slow down your breath and gently ask yourself, is there a rose in your heart that needs tender protection? Is there a tamed relationship worth cherishing with all your heart? Have you quietly ignored the truly important things in the busyness of life? We always think growth means becoming strong and invincible, but the Little Prince tells us, true growth is keeping tenderness despite life's hardships, learning to cherish every encounter, and being willing to give our whole sincerity to those we love. May you sleep soundly, wrapped in this tenderness tonight. May you meet that golden-haired little prince in your dreams, and your own unique rose. Let go of all weariness and anxiety, and have a good sleep. Good night.